Welcome guys, in this video we're going to talk about interfaces. Now, an interface is basically a contract. Okay, so when you implement the interface, promise to fulfill the contract. And many times when you deal with interfaces, they take names that look like this. For example, iPrintable, or for example, iStorable. For example, I say writable. You see, these are the names. Okay, and that interface name is meant to suggest something, right? So for example, an object that normally might not be printable implements the printable interface, meaning it becomes a printable object, right? It can be used as a printable object. When you implement a storable interface, maybe perhaps you are not storable to the hard drive normally, but you implement this interface and you can then be saved. Okay, same thing with the writable. Okay, iWritable means take something that perhaps normally is not writable, and now you implement the interface, and that means you're promising to make this object writable. You see? There you go. In other words, it can be used as a writable object. It can be used as a storable object, and it can be used as a printable object. Okay, so think here in terms of can be used as. There you go. Now, in our case, I'm going to give you some physical example that hopefully I hope you can imagine easily. So you're going to say here using system, and then you're going to say namespace, of course, sample, that'll do. Now you're going to say here interface, and we'll call it iSitable, like this. Okay, so in other words, an object that will implement this interface can be used as a sittable object. You can sit on it. Okay, why not? We can our code, we can do whatever we want. So we are going to say here now void and then sitting message like this. So when you sit on it, some message should be displayed. Alright, so you're going to say here class milk crate, and this is going to implement the iSitable here, like that. Alright, so let's go into the body of milk crate, so public milk crate constructor there. So console.writeLine, and let's say I'm a milk crate. Close that with a semicolon. So it looks like this. Let's implement here. If you give this a build, let's take a look at the result. And it says build failed thus far, and it says does not implement interface member iSitable.sitting message. So we have got to implement that, okay? So we have to provide some implementation. So let's do that. In our case, it's a very simple implementation, nothing that difficult. So we're going to say here public void and then sitting message. And in our case, the message simply will be something very simple, like console.writeLine and I'm being used as a chair, though I'm a milk crate. Close that with a semicolon. You see? There you go. I like interfaces. I like the extra functionality that they give you, and the fact that you can, create objects and then you in quite a cool way. Assuming you implement the, members of the interface. All right. So here, give it a build now. Now it says ready. Excellent. Alright. And let's see what else do we have to do. Okay, so next what we are going to do is this. Let me delete this reference code that I have. I don't need any of this anymore. So somewhere now, I'm going to say class program. Of course, we are going to make a new method inside the class program that's going to say public static void and can sit on. Okay, and now iSitable is the kind of object it's going to accept, and then we'll give it the name fake chair, like this. Okay, now you're going to say fake chair dot sitting message. Alright, and now let's do here static void main as the entry point into the application. Now you're going to say milk crate, make a milk crate, so milk crate, set that equal to a new milk crate, like that. Okay, program that can sit on, and now pass in the milk crate object like that. And remember, the milk crate, as you can see, implements iSitable, right? So in other words, a milk crate can be used as a sittable object, right? An object you can sit on. So over here in can sit on in a method, you see that iSitable is the type, so you can pass in a milk crate. There you go. And now let's just do console.read line or read key. Doesn't really matter for our purposes. Let's delete this. Alright, so here's our code, simple enough. Let's give it a build. Okay, looks good. Debug and step printer. There you go. Now remember, an interface in a simple sense is just a contract that you fulfill. Okay, and it's good because that means everything that implements the interface should have the very similar kind of behavior, which means you have a level of predictability. So here we have, let's go through this. I will make our milk crate with the constructor. Then we'll call program.canSitOn, but that calls fake_sitting message, and that's going to display that. And at the end, you just wait for some user input, and it says I'm a milk crate. I'm being used as a chair, though I'm a milk crate. There you go. Okay, so remember, an interface is basically a collection of method signatures, in other words, behaviors that you promise to implement, but not just the method signatures, okay? You can have other constructs inside there also. But for our purposes, we're keeping it simple. And it can be used as a type, for example, when you pass a value into a method like here where I put down iSitable, okay, as the type of the object going into it. There you go. And many times, in a simple sense, right, because of the ABLE, that means it can be used as when you think about it, right? So iPrintable, iStorable, iWritable, that means all those objects that implement this interface can now be treated as such objects that are, for example, writable, storable, printable, and so on. Okay? And that is it. So, thanks very much, and I'll see you in another video.